is your mission to make people aware not only of the other entities out there and other, races and so on, but is it also to perhaps prepare or to warn of some event? Because you seem to be alluding to some event that you don't even know about.
As 2 points far out, they're becoming closer and closer together to eventually, and we ultimately know it's going to happen, contact's going to be made. The NASA Department of Astrobiology held a conference in 2000. Forget the Brookings Institute report. This report came out and said, we don't really know what world reaction would be. It's a small report. How many people have read that report? How many people even know about it? When we say that we can accept the reality of visitors being here, we mean us ourselves. But even when we can accept that, how many of us are really ready for that face-to-face confrontation? And I can tell you, each time it's different. Each time there is that little something in the back of your mind that says, what's going to happen here? Mm-hmm. And each time you know that if something goes wrong, it's going to it could equate to the loss of life. Not because they're dangerous, but we're a danger to ourselves. So the whole situation is, how do you prepare a world population for that ultimate contact, which isn't, as astroastronomers used to believe, that it's going to be by a radio signal from deep space coming here. Mm-hmm. But it's going to be face to face, and it's going to happen on our planet.
Sure. Well, it's happening daily with the military, is it not? I mean...
Oh, more so than what people really know. But here again, most people aren't going to talk about it.
Right.
The one thing you want when you get out of the military, the one thing you want more than anything, is to be normal.
Why? Why? Why do you want to be normal?
To me, the greatest thing you can be is a servant. Taking care of other people is the most important thing. The self should get gratification from being able to help other people. That's important. But all too often, people will put themselves ahead of others. And right there is where we have the problems today, in today's world.
I guess to get back to where you were saying there's going to be contact, in a sense, you are in the forefront, a person who can prepare the rest of humanity for this actual contact, because you've been having contact. And in a sense, the aliens or the off-worlders have basically been communicating, been choosing the people around the planet to communicate with, of which you are one, right? And so contact is something that is being prepared for as we speak. Is it not?
Worldwide.
Okay. And are you thinking, a lot of people like to say, it's going to happen for the world to see, aliens are going to land on the White House lawn, something of this nature.
No.
And it's I mean, in a certain sense, it's going on every day. The military is dealing with, certainly they've captured, as you say, they're holding prisoner some of these entities. I mean, we've also had treaties with some of the races, have we not?
Okay, I've heard about the treaties, but here again, that's not part of something that I'd work with.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll tell you this, I think by 2016 that something better have happened, because at 2016 I think we're going to have to announce to the world that there's a probe that comes very close to the Earth every 15, 20 years. We've been calling it an asteroid. It's not an asteroid. Mm-hmm. But it actually, in reality, is an artificial probe. In other words, somebody else put it here. They have found us a long time ago. The technology will probably be pretty much on par to, say, Voyager. It will be old, antiquated technology by all their standards.
So what are you saying? This probe, is this probe,
I'm
do you know
saying
what
we
race?
already found it.
Uh-huh.
Our paradigm says that it can't be a artificial craft of any sort. Therefore, we refuse to accept that and we call it an asteroid. I'm talking about BG 1991, roughly 30 meters in diameter. Highly polished surface. Asteroids don't have a high polished surface. Took corrective course changes to avoid collision with another asteroid. That don't happen. Mm-hmm. This one it did.
So, what race is this from? What planet, do you know?
I don't know.
Do you think that the aliens have given you an upgrade, have modified your DNA in any way? Are you aware that that your abilities have been augmented or have grown?
Yeah, but you try not to use those because you know of things that's going to happen before they happen. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times you can't do anything to change them. Like I knew that, didn't know who, but I knew one of my kids was going to get killed on a motorcycle. And that's hard. I mean, before my son was killed, on the Wednesday prior to that, I knew that he parked the motorcycle in the back of the car. I knew I could go ahead, back up over it, and run over it a couple of times. But I also knew that the family would not understand that I did that to stop what was, let me rephrase that, as an attempt to stop what I knew was going to happen.
So you're a precog. I mean, this is what they call a precog. You knew in the future before it happened, and that you were not able to necessarily change it or stop it. But there's a reason why things happen. I mean, you must agree.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So, in a sense, that must be a peace for you, because it's not just that you know, but also souls know what might happen. Souls are aware. In other words, we're all aware when we're going to die. We may not know it consciously, but we do know, right? So in that sense, I mean, it's not your responsibility either to prevent a happening or not, if that's something, in a sense, that we as souls agreed to the scenario happening, right?
Well, like I say, with them, they can even communicate with what we call the other side. But even at that, given their advanced technology, there are still forbidden questions.
Okay.
I'm trying to avoid saying something here. Let's just say that with the death of my son, they helped me visit with him one time.
Sure.
And like I told you, there's questions unless you ever ask. It was, I knew if I go back 15 minutes, I knew where he was, all those locations. If I could go back 15 minutes, I could stop the accident from happening. All I had to do was delay his movement anywhere along that 15 minutes for just a minute or so, and I would alter the outcome. But once again, set break off. Here's our reality. Here you created that other parallel. And for some odd reason, it's not good to create that other parallel. And they know this. Mm-hmm. And also, it was pointed out that you cannot escape the reality of this time continuum that we find ourselves, because his death is reality to me in this time frame I find myself. The Second World War happened. I must return to the point from which I depart within that space-time.